Bienvenidos a una nueva cápsula del Observador Forestal TV. Ahora les presentamos una entrevista con Margaret Skutsch, del Centro de Investigación en Geografía Ambiental de la Universidad Nacional Autónoma de México, quien nos platica acerca de las principales conclusiones del estudio de degradación de los bosques de México a través de Red+, financiado por ClimateWorks. Este estudio dará marco al convenio que el CIGA de la UNAM firmó con CONAFOR a través del proyecto Fortalecimiento Red+ y Cooperación Sur-Sur para identificar áreas, hotspots, mapas de probabilidad y análisis de causas y agentes de deforestación y degradación.
We started this project for ClimateWorks because earlier we had done a study in 7 different countries about communities who are managing their forests and how they were able to monitor the increases in the biomass in their forests. And it became obvious to us that many of these communities were managing in very simple ways to avoid degradation, not so much to avoid deforestation, but the way they managed the forests increased the carbon stocks. The main aims of the study are to make clearer how degradation occurs, what its drivers are, how you can measure it, and how you could combat it in the long run. Because there's a lot of confusion about this. Degradation is an important part of REDD, but most of the work on REDD, academically and in practice, has focused on deforestation. And my feeling is that, for example, in a country like Mexico, the opportunities for combating degradation and reducing emissions from degradation are probably more than those for deforestation. So I think that degradation is an area of enormous opportunity for Mexico. I would say the main results so far have been firstly to try and to find a definition and a way of measuring degradation, which we are now approaching with a 5-point scale on a relative index.
Which was developed by our colleagues, Dr. Enrique Jardel and Jorge Morfin of the University of Guadalajara.
That's one important advance. I think also by the research we've done on shifting cultivation, Rosa Tumbaquema, has been very important to demonstrate that this activity is not responsible for nearly as much loss as people have thought earlier. And another very important part, I think, is the study of opportunity costs, which was presented today, because that indicates that to combat these systems from a financial point of view is very difficult. Not only is it rather expensive, but it's hugely socially divisive, because the people who get the best value out of shifting cultivation tend to be the richest people. And it will be very difficult to design an incentive structure by which you pay richer people more than poorer people. And I think what we've done in this study is highlight some of the huge difficulties that are going to be involved. I'm afraid we haven't really come up with solutions, but at least we've laid open some of the very big problems. The main purpose of our study for CONAFOR, for the drivers, is to understand drivers better, both of degradation and of deforestation. We will cover both. And I think the lessons we've learned in the previous study give us many ideas, and the discussion today also, many ideas not only about what is really causing degradation and how it occurs, but also what is the potential of many of the programs that have been earmarked, such as PSR. What our study shows is that these are not necessarily the best solutions to the problem. I do believe that much of the problem lies outside of the forests, and we may need to invest money for REDD not actually in forestry activities, but in ways of changing the way people do agriculture rather. And I think what we're going to be looking at is something much more inclusive.
Something that could perhaps build on the idea of OTCs.
Which look at all aspects of land use. I think that's going to be the only real solution for REDD, is something which is much broader, including agriculture and social development and forestry all together, rather than simplistic ideas that you can just pay people for PSR, which is clearly not going to be an easy solution.
Así pues, el próximo año el CIGA del UNAM entregará a la CONAFOR los resultados de este nuevo estudio sobre degradación y deforestación en el país, el cual servirá como insumo para la construcción del sistema de medición, reporte y verificación, MRV, así como del nivel de referencia para la Estrategia Nacional de Red Más en México. Gracias por acompañarnos. Hasta la próxima.
Secretaría de Medio Ambiente y Recursos Naturales, Gobierno de la República.